Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope y'all can hear me because sorry about that. Now I'm making all this noise and doing too much. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know where my what's it called? My microphone is, and so I'm hoping it'll be interesting to see what the volume is or the sound is right now. Right? Okay, so good morning, y'all. Today is Monday, September 15th. I'm back in the office, like I said last week. I'm not at the highway yet. It's like, when am I gonna get there? I don't know. But anyway, how are you guys? How was you guys this weekend? Did you do anything? Did you get any sleep? Whew, I did. What did I do? I went to Sophia's game and she cheered. What else? I didn't really do much. Hung out with some friends. I did a lot of listening this weekend. You know, I know I talk a lot, but I do a lot of listening as well. And so I did a lot of listening this weekend. So shout out to all my girls that I spoke with this weekend about the stuff we spoke about. But going back into the office, y'all, I'm ready to get up out this country. And I do mean it. And I am gonna try not to get emotionally upset while I'm on the line with y'all. Thanks for picking up. But I'm pissed. I feel super pissed this morning because so I'm dropping Sophia off to before school or whatever, and I'm just like, Dad, you know, I haven't been at the office in a month. And Sophia's like, how come? And I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I was like, yeah, we're just going back in. I tried to like change it a little bit, and then she said something else, and then she says, so how come you haven't been in the office in a month? Like, what happened? And so I'm like, depressed? Like, okay. I said, well, because an incident happened at my job that was not safe. And she was like, well, what was the incident? So I'm like, somebody came there with a gun. You know, she's all shocked at everything. And I'm like, right, you know. And so I'm pissed because I feel like it wasn't a secret that I was trying to keep from her. But it also wasn't something that she had discussed with her friends or anything like that at school at this point. And you just realize that you're having to have these conversations about things that should not be happening at all. That should not be on the list of things that go on. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, and then the thing about it is, while I'm telling her, you know, I told her, well, somebody tried to come and, you know, with a gun. She was like, well, did anybody die? I told her a police officer died. She asked me, well, where's the person who had the gun? Did he die? I said, yes. And so she was asking me, was I scared? Was I crying? You know, and I'm just about to cry, just answering the questions, because I'm like, this is ridiculous for me to have to try to have this conversation with my daughter. And then what further just pissed me off about having that or having to even speak of it at all is that what she doesn't know is that an incident just happened with Charlie Kirk. You see what I'm saying? So it's giving which shooter, right? Which shooter? Who's the shooter? And like I said before, and I'll say it again, just like I always say, people say it's not all men. No, just like it's not all white people, but it's always white people. It's always them. And it's like, and they want to have this fight and they want to have this narrative so bad that they have to create it. The same way they created racism, colorism, misogyny, patriarchy. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy all around. So I don't appreciate having to explain to my daughter about an active shooter, even though they even have to have active shooting drills at these little schools. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't appreciate having to explain that to my daughter. And then realizing while I'm telling her that it's like, it's given, you know, well, which active shooter? Right. It's because there's so many to choose from, you know what I mean, that I got to figure out which one is she even asking about. And so this happened to him, last week or so? And we're talking a month ago this happened, you know what I'm saying, that I'm explaining to her. And so we're back in the office, and of course, I have all the questions. Hello, what safety precautions have we put in place? Because I'm nobody's sitting duck. And like I said, I don't need permission to protect myself, and I won't ask for it. I'll just deal with whatever. But I don't know. I just don't appreciate that. And I just want to get out this country so bad. It's giving, y'all won. Y'all won. Because the same way I lived in New York and moved down here to Georgia, I was like, I happen to know that life gets better in other places, right? Life is easier in other places. Life is cheaper in other places. And this is for the states, right? So now I'm thinking for the country. As far as the country is concerned, life is cheaper, life is safer, life gets better, life is easier in other places. When I moved from New York, I understood that and came down south. Even though down south, you know what I mean? But now it's the country. Instead of me moving from another state because life could get easier or better, it's now I have to really consider getting out of here. I do not want to raise my daughter under these circumstances. I can't live under these circumstances like this because I'm too much of a rebel. I'm too much of a person who's not going to listen and just do whatever. You know what I mean? And it's just this idea, like a lot of times what we're dealing with, what we're witnessing, a lot of times it seems like, oh, they're not going to do that. That's too far. That's too crazy. And it's like Rick James said it best. It ain't no such place. Clearly, nothing's too far. Nothing is too out of reach. Even if it's, no matter how ridiculous and unsafe or anything like that it is, it's not out of reach. It can be done. It's, and I'm not a person who wants to live in fear. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I have my anxieties about things. But then there's there's the reality. There's the reality. You know, and I'm a person who wants to always be in reality, because if I'm not in reality, I'm in somebody else's reality. You know what I mean? And I don't like to be controlled under any circumstance. You know, and so, but I'm just pissed about all that goes on in this country and the narrative. You know what I mean? And let me cross over these 30 lanes. Needless to say, I don't know if I'm gonna make it on Friday. We'll see if I can pay the $5. Maybe I'll pay half, but that's still the case, you know. And I see the agenda. You know what I mean? The writing is on the wall, and the only thing that I can do is my due diligence to ensure that when it's time to pull the trigger, whether it's literally or figuratively, that I'm ready to do it. And write this. And if I had to go somewhere right now, then I'd just be out. Grab Sophia up, let's go. Put her on my back like a backpack, and we gone. Because it'll get figured out. That's one thing I'm not afraid to do, is pack up and haul ass. That's for sure. I mean, all countries have their issues, but all countries did not have chattel slavery, okay? So while they may be racist because you're dark, the culture isn't about racism and about trying to always hold you back. You know what I mean? I don't know that their systems are not necessarily all built in place to try to hold you back from whatever it is you're trying to do. And so, so I'm pissed. But anyway, I'm going to try to get off of this because I don't want to upset myself even further, especially since I'm on my way into the office and I do not want to present myself with an attitude, because I got one. I got one. So let's move on to another topic. What else is going on? I just saw on TV before I left the house that here we go with the TikTok thing again. Whether or not we're going to have TikTok, and are we going to have a buyer, and this, that, and the third. And it's like, oh my goodness. Enough. They're trying to control every single thing. And they are moving fast. And if there's any chance for us to put people in place get people out of place, if there's any chance for that, a lot of damage has already been done. And even the people that we may put in place, while they may not be on the far right, they may not be a radical, they still racist. And they have to hold that in order to, you know what I mean? They have to hold in their prejudice, their stereotypes, their racism, right? So that they can come out and look like the better option. But let's not get it twisted. We have no friends here. We have no friends here. It's just, it's the lesser of two evils is all it really is. You know, and so that's why it's important to make sure we're building community with each other. This is important for men to understand, especially, you know what I mean? Because all of the relationship stuff and all of the talk and the rhetoric about relationships and how those things work, it's extremely important for men to do the heavy lifting when it comes to building community with each other, because women are automatically going to do that. Women are automatically going to do that. And so, and we can't do that heavy lifting, especially if the men aren't interested in it, or they just feel like, oh, now they have to express their feelings. Right, that's a part of it. That's a part of why there's a male loneliness epidemic and not a women's loneliness epidemic. You can have a robust community around you that doesn't include or require a man's presence. And with everything that's going on in this country, it's imperative that men get their shit together when it comes to how they're going to support each other, because women are going to do that. It doesn't matter how much I try to hold women back, women are always going to support each other. And unfortunately for men, y'all always going to be feeling jealous, or like feeling like somebody else is supporting us, and that's not true. There's no male organization ensuring that women have anything. If women don't do the work and the women don't do the heavy lifting, it's not going to happen for us. And that's just it. And so, because times are changing, because they're trying to control every single little thing, like I said, I'm ready to pack my shit and go. Speaking of them trying to control every single thing, I go down to, where did I go? To Publix. I went to Publix, and I went to, where did I go? It doesn't even matter. The point is, I went to the store, and I tried to pay cash, and it was like card only. Card only? Another way they're trying to control it, right? And so there's a couple of things going on there. You go to a store, they're trying to make everything electronic, right? So that you're not actually pushing money, but you can't. So I couldn't pay cash, and you just realize that it's like, but you still have to have access to cash, because anything can happen, and you got to be able to barter and not be caught slipping. Okay. However, them putting everything electronic is jacked up, because what about people who don't have a card? What about people who can't get a card? What do you mean card only? It's not like Publix has their own little, like, do Publix have a gift card that people can use and load and then use it that way? Like, that seems like that's the only other option. You know what I mean? But it's like, this is another thing what I'm saying with the control. This is what's pissing me off right now. Because I was so pissed. It's not like I always have cash on me, but like my one attempt to use cash, they're telling me no. And what you realize in that moment is, it's not about whether or not you have the money. It's how the method you're going to use to spend the money is what's being, you know what I'm saying, controlled. And that's bogus. That's bogus. And it's a double-edged sword, because you don't want to have all your money tied up at the bank, but it's almost like that's the only place it could be in order for you to spend the money if they're going to say card only. Another option is to do, gift cards, and I spoke about gift cards before, especially as it pertains to like preparing for the holidays or preparing for school and things like that. Just buy a gift card, and just hold on to it. And then when the time comes for Christmas or whatever, you don't have no money, well, you already bought 2 gift cards, so you have the gift cards waiting on you so that your kid can have Christmas, or your kid can have school supplies, or whatever it is you need for yourself or your house. Gift cards is another way to go. You just, spend the money and put it on a gift card, so you don't have to do it that way. But I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed all the way around. Oh, speaking of control, so Africa I'm not sure which countries in Africa are responsible for this right now, because I'm just now like understanding this, but the French economy has tanked. And what the French don't know, understand, or want to acknowledge is that your economy booms because you drain the resources from Africa. And so as some African countries are voting in presidents and things like that, and they're taking over and they're showing their leadership, there are some things that they have stopped ensuring that France has. And as a result, the French economy has tanked. They're broke. And they're protesting. And so here we go again, right? You're protesting because a country that a continent, right? Or some countries within the continent that you've colonized stole their resources. What you begin to realize is, without stealing somebody's whatever, you have nothing. You have nothing without stealing their resources. You're not buying it. You're not bartering. You're not borrowing. You're stealing it. You've stolen it. And now that they're saying we're not doing that anymore, we're going to just take whatever hits we have to take in order to make this change, which I salute France for that. You know what I mean? And I just, the United States is just, we're so racist that it's just like, the level of standing up protests and rallying, marching, and deaths that would have to occur. Because like I said, violence is the answer. It's the only thing that these people understand. However, the people that need to get violent, it's not just black people. It's like, this isn't a black issue. This is a race issue, a class issue. Y'all gonna let me over, so. But anyway, yeah, so France, if you wanted to go to France, don't even worry about it. Just eat some French fries, get some French toast, you know what I mean? Have some French bread, and that's it. Enough with that. So that's another place where it's like, yeah, okay, y'all need to get y'all shit together, because I'm not trying to, go to another. I mean, they've been that's a colonizing country, as we know, the French. And so, they got a problem with African people too, even though there's plenty of French people, but y'all know what I'm saying. So, here go my exit. Damn, I ain't been in this building in a month. So anyway, y'all drinking water? I told y'all I had a new thing, because I need to make sure I had a new water bottle, because I had left this one. I'm about to skip all this shit. I mean, I ain't in no rush, but everybody, they driving like they fucking petrified. Anywho, hopefully I'll find my microphone. Hopefully y'all can hear me. And but here's something. Let's do this. What have y'all been watching on TV? Because y'all know I love to catch up on my shows, okay? So, I'm going to recommend some shows to y'all. Now, I haven't seen this one yet because I was too busy watching some other BS or whatever. But I want to see that movie, The Girlfriend, which is on Prime. And then I want to see Black Rabbit, which is on Netflix. Okay, so these are looking like they're getting ready to be two good, is it a series? I think The Girlfriend, I don't know if it's a series. I don't know if it's episodes or if it's a movie. And then Black Rabbit, I'm assuming I don't know if that's episodes or a movie too. But yeah, The Girlfriend on Netflix. And then, the Girlfriend on Prime. And then Black Rabbit on Netflix. Now, two other movies I recommend, which are trippy. Okay, it's called Blink Twice. And I think Channing Tatum is starring in that. And that's just trippy about how, you know, trying to be, it's like, it's giving like a Diddy vibe where it's like, you know, somebody's offering you to come over here and have a good time. And the next thing you know, all type of weird stuff starts happening. And it's very reminiscent, or the idea of what we've been seeing with the idea of the Diddy Epstein and thing and the goings-ons that we hear about in those type of environments. And so that movie is called Blink Twice. And that is on Netflix. And that's is just trippy. It's trippy. And it gives you an understanding of how you end up in that situation. Woo! So, yeah, I recommend that. But then I also recommend The Fall of the House of Usher. Oh, my God. That was good. That was good. I was like, Jesus. And the basic premise is the price that you pay when you make a deal with the devil. Woo, child, that's a good one. And so, is this where I work? I feel like I don't know where I'm at. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Whoops. And so that movie is good. But y'all know y'all saw the what's it called? Unknown Caller? Kendra. No, you did not. And you know what pissed me off? When they discovered who the person was and the way she was hugging on her and trying to console her as it, what? Why you if you don't get your arms from around me, and I hate it, you know, I don't want to say just because they white, but it was just giving like, what? This too much. This is too much. But yeah, so those are my television picks for myself that I still have to watch, and for y'all. Blink Twice, The Fall of the House of Usher, The Girlfriend, and Black Rabbit. We gotta watch those and find out what happened so we could talk about these movies. But anywho, y'all, I'm pulling up to this bogus ass building. I'm about to see what's going on here. See if they're gonna do. Let me see what the security is giving. You know, I've been trying to make it seem like this is the CIA and the FBI around these parts, and it's like, enough, okay? Enough. Clearly, I live in a country where if I don't protect myself, I won't have any. And that's the bottom line. And that's my point to y'all. That's my point to my daughter. Period. If you don't protect yourself, you won't be getting any protection. And so you need to figure out how that's going to look, what that's going to be about. We're going to see. They said today's going to be like a nice, beautiful day. But I think I'm still going to park. Let me see. Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to have to do. I see that I could park in the front where I normally would, but I think it's important for me to probably start parking up under this regardless, per my agenda. Everybody has one. But anywho, y'all, so yeah, now I'm okay, so there's a little park right there. Okay. Y'all, we're going to have a good week this week, okay? That's the plan of what we're going to do. You get it? Yeah, we're going to have a good week regardless, right? That's the plan. That's always the plan. We're going to have a good week regardless. I'm going to download my car and see what the deal is. And it's going to be interesting to see. And then I'm going to try not to have an attitude if it's not the way I think it should be. I'm going to have an attitude. But it's all good, like I said. Where there's a will, there's a way. And so whatever it is that I'm looking for will be established. It will be. Okay? The opportunity that I'm looking for will open up for me. The same way it's going to open up for you. So don't fret. Okay? We all in this together. And we got to keep our seatbelts on. Literally and figuratively. Because the bumpy rides, we still ain't even a year in. And I'm hoping, Sophia's in what, 4th grade? It's giving, when you start middle school, you know, let me start practicing another language. Miente. I'm about to go to Merida, Mexico out here, okay? Anywho, y'all have a good day. Do not let anybody piss you off. Don't engage. We don't have time. We do not have a minute, okay? It's not worth it. And that's what I'm telling myself. That's what I'm telling you. Like I said, keep your head on a swivel. Okay? And have a good day. I plan to do the same. I made some collard greens with some turkey necks. Sophia talk about Sophia said she wanted to take it for lunch today. I said, touche, baby. We both gonna be eating collard greens with turkey necks. I said, and don't worry about it if any of your classmates say anything. I said, because the teachers is gonna understand the assignment. They're gonna be like, well, they're gonna be wanting a little bite. You know what I mean? And do not give anybody a bite. But I'm like, do what you gotta do. So yeah, I'm already ready to eat my collard greens. I might have to eat. Because I already drank. You know how you drink water and it hurt, right? I always say that, especially when you're hungry. But I need water, so I ain't got a choice. And plus, I got to wait to eat. I'm trying to do a little bit of intermittent fasting. Bring my top stomach, bring that down some. Anywho, y'all, I hope my volume was okay today. I plan to try to find my not my headphones. What the hell is it? My microphone. I don't know where the hell it went. But like I said, y'all have a good day. Don't engage. Okay? Don't let nobody piss you off to the highest of positivity. At least don't go to the highest of positivity. I wish I could retire, y'all. God. Jesus. I'm 5 years away. 5 years away for me to have 20. And I'm just holding on for dear life. I'm trying, y'all. But if I got to cut the cord, I will. For my sanity. I will. All right. But y'all have a good day. And I will see you guys tomorrow on my way in. All right, peeps. Bye.